then on February 11th, we have Ruslan. On the 12th, we have Victor Tuki. On the 18th, we have Infamous Latamel. And on the 19th, Alice Inc. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And it was reported or announced a couple days ago that Triple H will be the headliner for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. I mean, technically already in the Hall of Fame as the Generation X, but I feel like he needed his own induction anyway. It makes sense. It's been like 3 years since he's retired. So now would definitely be that time. No, Kaliko?
I mean, you might as well ride on his popularity level now. I mean, why not? Like, but yeah, with that being said, yeah, it's been that time ever since he had the whole heart thing. I mean, ever since he had the heart thing and he was saying like he was done then, it was only a matter of time. And right now is the right time, and it makes sense because it delays Cena to be the headline next year. And that's the biggest key because they're kind of running thin on the headliners, if I must say so myself. You can
Um,
only headline so many people because after this, after Triple H, you got Cena, um, and then after Cena, everyone's gonna guess Rock, but even Rock might not get it. So you're thinking maybe Orton. See, it's so many people.
I mean,
Brock.
but Batista hasn't got in yet. I mean, they announced him a couple years ago, but he never accepted. He never had his speech.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Triple H, but Triple H is a guy that can mend fences. Either way, since San Martino came back, so I mean, his track record speak can get it done if you look at it that way. But but yeah, he's well deserving, very well deserving.
Yeah.
Even though we spent most of the 2000s shitting on him because he was shitting on everybody else. Ooh, he was holding some superstars back, boy. Ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he will more than well makes up for that nowadays. More or less created NXT, creating the new superstars of tomorrow. Everything he's doing in WWE now. I could have made the argument he could have headlined Los Angeles a couple years back, but um, it's been a weird maybe 3 years for WWE in general with him just
Rey
transitioning.
Mysterio headlined LA, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, it made sense for him because it's LA, it's Cali, it's his state.
I mean, what I mean by that is he Triple H retired, announced his retirement, like right before 38. So he couldn't. I mean, he couldn't necessarily headline that year. I mean, it would have made sense him going in the next year, but transitioning from Vince McMahon to him to going back to WWE to them selling the WWE, it was just a crazy time these last 2 years. So now that things calmed down, I think yeah, it makes sense for him to go in, now.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
mhm.
yeah, but eventually you're gonna have to get eventually we gotta. I mean, the let me see, who was the headliner last year?
Paul Heyman was
Paul Heyman. Yes, so it was Philly, Paul Heyman, LA
Mysterio.
is Mysterio. So yeah, it made sense. In Vegas, he gets his own thing because it's the first one in Vegas. He can kind of, He's probably the reason they even went to Vegas.
Um,
So
I'm thinking it was more The Rock, but that's another completely different story.
it is, but he gets it, and The Rock ain't gonna want to get in yet.
I feel like The Rock is due. I mean,
The
nobody.
Rock is due, but it's. I mean, he could if he wanted to do it this year, he could have did it this year.
Yeah, I mean, he could have like. I mean, in the last 10 years, he could have went in. I mean, nobody expects The Rock to have a full WWE run again. I mean, he can go in at any time, whenever he wants.
But it also keeps it dangling because of the simple fact that you got that one in your back pocket. And next year he could be the headliner, but Cena could be the headliner. So you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things like you don't want to throw everybody into that, you know what I mean? Into that one class.
Right.
So Rock's probably letting everybody else eat and then he'll get his eat. Because really, what does it benefit him to even join it?
I mean, to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's literally the last
I'm
accolade that he hasn't achieved.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I just think he's holding off on it
Mm, I don't know why, but obviously he has his
because
reasons.
I think he would be the one big last headliner though. Because I'm thinking when you're thinking 5, 10 years down the road, Cena, Rock, Orton, um,
Lesnar at some point.
maybe that's a maybe. Um, yeah, Lesnar. They already did Heyman.
Shane
Um,
McMahon.
oh no, he's not a headliner. Because if he was a headliner, then Stephanie's a headliner.
I mean,
Um,
I wouldn't put it past them to put Stephanie as a headliner.
um, I'm trying to think who else would be a headline because you're thinking now you're going from because this is starting like because Triple H and Rock are like the last pillars of that Attitude Era that's going to get in as a headliner, if that makes sense.
No, I get
So
what you mean.
now, so
Kane's
now
already
you're
in,
getting
so
into, huh?
Kane's already in, so can't put
Yeah,
him.
he's already in as a headliner. So that's like, so those are the last two pillars of those attitude areas. So now you're starting to get into the ruthless aggression era, and you thinking Cena, Orton, Edge is already in, Christian's already in. Is he? Is
No,
Christian?
Christian is not
No,
in.
Christian's not in it. Christian's not in.
I
No,
highly
never mind.
doubt they're gonna put
Uh,
Benoit in.
heavily doubt it. Eddie's already in.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Charlie
fuck.
Haas, Shelton Benjamin.
But not headliners.
Yeah.
Uh, CM Punk maybe. Um, shit. Who
I mean,
else?
Punk is still relatively active, so I wouldn't
But
necessarily.
that's my point. No, that's what I said. Like 10 years down the line.
Yeah.
I'm thinking 10 years down the line. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to think of people that are going to headline that bitch. And that's not even on top of the controversial one, which would be Vince McMahon himself.
I mean, at some point they're gonna put him in, so I think we all know that.
Maybe.
I can't. I mean, he literally made the company. They can't erase him from the history of it.
I'm not going to say they're going to erase him from the history, but I don't see them putting him as a headliner based on the last 5 years.
True. I suppose we shall see. Um, Back in the news, for the first time in quite some time, is Stephenie McMahon. she is making a new series produced by ESPN called Stephanie's Place, where she travels to different places and interviews pro wrestlers. That's what I heard it was going to be. Um, I feel like this is slightly out of character for Stephenie McMahon, but if this is something she wants to do, then good on her, right?
I mean, yeah, it's just a different avenue. But no one really knows Stephanie beyond the character, so that's where where it goes. So it'll be interesting to see how they portray her post WWE. I mean, I met her before; she's a sweetheart, but are they going to show that side of her?
It is interesting because while WWE is obviously, involved, this isn't a WWE produced show. It's ESPN. So it is kind of her doing her own thing. And I would believe that this is her first non WWE venture that she's been in, possibly ever. I mean, obviously it revolves around pro wrestling, but it's not WWE content. You know what I mean? Oh, I think we lost Kaliko.
Nah, you ain't losing me. You ain't losing me. I mean, yeah, but we'll see. It's what network it's on. I know they showed an episode with Roman Reigns and everybody, his whole family on the yacht. So it'll be a tad bit interesting. I mean, I'll watch one episode to see what it do, and then we'll go from there.
I agree with that. At first, when I heard, she was traveling the world, I was low key thinking that this was going to be like what's the name of that? So the Anthony Bourdain's, travel, off the beaten path destination. So Stephanie,
Wasn't that called like Parts Unknown?
parts unknown. Yes. Uh,
Maybe it is like that. Maybe she's going. Who knows? Going to different places that she likes that brings out her personality.
find herself, find some weird,
Find it.
finding
Well, I
some
don't know
weird
about
food.
finding herself. She's a mom at this point. Ain't no finding yourself after you become a mother.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, post WWE Stephanie McMahon. It seems like she's kind of low key. She's living her best life, and you can't be mad at that. No.
So she let that hustle and bustle and like, fuck it, I'm out. Eh, You can't blame her. Can't blame her.
Well,
So
he's our
leave it,
next.
leave it to Paul. Leave it to Paul to do it. I'm
Paul, you go do
showing
it.
him.
Definitely not feeling like he's living his best life is a one Corey Graves. We reported last week that some issues and problems with WWE, not feeling like he is deserving of the position, getting so to speak demoted back to NXT. One might say it's a promotion because you get to work at Shawn Michaels Bakery, but that's he's not feeling that way. Um, Kind of thought that everything was squashed. Then Booker T did. I think he was on his podcast where he spoke about it, and Bucko basically said that he's not cool with Corey Graves, saying that he's not cool with what he did, but he hasn't talked to him about it, and that he doesn't talk to Corey Graves, generally speaking. Um, that kind of tells you where everything is with Corey Graves right now. That the people that he's literally walking besides don't necessarily want to talk to him. No.
I mean, Booker. I mean, but they always had real life beef. So you know what
Corey
I'm saying?
Graves?
It looked like Booker and Corey.
Yeah, I didn't hear that they had any heat between the two of them.
I mean, you remember that photo of Booker T jacking Corey Graves up on the wall?
I don't remember that.
Like, what? That was the running angle. Was I mean, when you get your chance, look it up.
Okay.
Uh, but uh, but I mean, it makes sense because they're just kind of like, um, I see Corey's side of it. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I see his side, and it's just, it's a shame because that guy is really, really talented. And he could have been, I mean, his wrestling career got cut short and he made the most out of it. And then you see these new wave of people just taking over what he's naturally good at because they are bigger names than him. I don't know. I mean, I put it this way: is Pat McAfee better than Corey Graves?
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
Is Wade Barrett better than Corey Graves?
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
You think? Wow. Well, I mean, I guess you shocked me on that one. Um, damn. I thought Corey Graves was at least number two. I mean, number two in name, number one in talent.
I mean, Pat McAfee, his his enthusiasm just makes you excited to watch the show because he's so excited to watch the show. And I mean, Michael Cole looked like he was just clocking in and clocking out every from week to week, and Pat McAfee literally bred life back into Michael Cole and made Michael Cole enjoyable to listen to again. And that was saying a lot because Michael Cole was, and I don't want to be mean to the Michael Cole at this point, but he was literally a miserable prick on commentary for the longest of times. But now him and Pat, they're a good combination. Um, Pat, he has his gimmicks, and it's fun to listen to Pat McAfee talk on commentary. On when it comes to Wade Barrett, I mean it's hard not to know who's talking, and you actually hear what he's saying because he has such a distinctive voice. I always felt like Corey Graves' voice had just faded into the background rather than, you know, beamed color and personality, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I just like the technicality in which Corey Graves spoke and the fact that he was able to get his quips off really quick.
I get that. But I mean, we're talking like master commentators. Then bring back uh, um, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo. Why do I think it's Saul? It's not Saul. Mauro Ronaldo. Is that right?
Mauro, no, it's Mauro Ronaldo. Ronaldo. I would, man, but to me, Morrow's number one. I would pay top dollar to hear him just say his phrases on a CD. But
And him with Nigel McGuinness was peak.
I tweeted that to him too at one point. I said I would pay top dollar just to hear Morrow's hip hop references on a loop because he just had it.
And him with,
Like a Morrow McAfee would be cool.
oh my god, would anybody else get, would there be a possibility of anybody seeing a word in edgewise, considering they talk about so much?
Nah, because I think Morrow would be able to feed off of him.
It wouldn't surprise me. But I mean, Ronaldo with Nigel McGuinness was just peak NXT, if I'm being honest.
It was. It was really good.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give Corey Graves one thing. He is a better commentator than Booker T. Half the time I cannot understand what Booker T is saying, so kudos
Because
to
Booker
at
T
least
talking
that.
about shug it, dug it, quack, quack.
Yeah,
Oh.
I mean, a lot of the noises that have been coming out of Booker T as of late, it kind of seems like NXT should be rated MA.
Sounds like he's a kid in a bakery shop.
Yeah, very much so.
He's, don't. He's only the kid in the bakery shop.
But I feel like if Booker T seems like, low key, he's not a hard guy to get along with. And if you're pissing him off, then you probably have a problem, right? At least with Corey Graves.
Hmm.
Is this.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
What I was going to ask is this kind of the beginning of the end for Corey Graves? It's one thing to, voice your opinion, but it's also another thing to have a bad attitude attached to that opinion. You know what I mean?
I mean, but you can't have that. In his case, in this situation, he believes that he can't have the opinion without the attitude. Because, I mean, to me, he's top five, easily top five. You know what I'm saying? Top five.
All
I
time or
personally would
currently?
say, huh?
All time or currently?
Currently,
Okay.
currently, he's like right now in the spectrum of the color commentator market. I mean, people are gonna love Pat. So, me personally, I'd say Pat one, Corey Graves two, McGinnis three, Barrett four, and then the rest you can just fill in from you can just leave a blank spot for five.
All right.
So I mean, and if he gets let go, he would be the top commentator at a TNA. He would be the top commentator, maybe even at a New Japan or even at a trying to think. AEW might be a little bit tougher because of that three-man booth,
Yeah.
but yeah, he would easily be sought after.
That I'm not so sure about because, and it's not that, people wouldn't want him. It's a matter of where he would want to go. Right now, I kind of feel like TNA, they have a really solid commentating booth. And with, what they have currently, with WWE, you don't want to necessarily hire somebody that left WWE on bad terms. I could be wrong about that, but that's for TNA to decide.
Man, that's half of TNA and AEW's rosters.
I mean, that was before they signed a contract to team with WWE. So, there's a difference between being let go and being fired for, reasons. You know what I mean?
Quotation marks the reason.
Reasons. um, but I think he would definitely be really good on New Japan programming. The problem being, the one problem I see it being is he's probably going to have a high price point, and I don't see New Japan dishing out that kind of money for a commentator. Um, like you said, it doesn't seem like AEW would want him because they have Excalibur and Tony Schiavone, and I mean the third man just goes from Taz to Nigel to JR to like they literally they have too many announcers if I'm being honest. So
Oh, really? I mean, yeah, they do. They got like gang of motherfuckers.
yeah, so it wouldn't necessarily work if they. I mean, I feel like he would just be wasted, and I don't think he would want to play second fiddle to Excalibur either. So there's that as well.
I
Um,
mean, who would want to?
well, I mean, Tony Schiavone's just living his best life, collecting a check every week. So there's
Oh yeah,
that.
Tony's like, shit.
All he
Tony's
else,
like, shit.
all Tony says is, "That's a good
He's
point, Excalibur," and then they pay him $1 million. He goes home and he comes back in a week.
but he's Tony like, just give me the check, bitch. Just cut the check. Just cut the check. Just cut it. So yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting. I think Corey. I mean, until otherwise, I don't see him being blackballed. So maybe he'll be on the Royal Rumble pre-show tonight. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, I highly doubt we're going to see him on anything WWE main roster for quite some time. So
Man, you got no faith in the man.
it's not that I have no faith in him. I just feel that he started a fire on a bridge that he can't necessarily put out. Um, Whether or not WWE forgives him down the line, is um, yet to be seen. But WWE has always had the mentality is you're going to eat shit and like the taste of it. So,
You really think they're gonna? I mean, would they do that to him?
oh, 100%. I mean, Triple H literally had that done to him. So, I mean, he knows the value of eating shit and learning to like the taste of it.
Oh gosh, you and yeah, he has.
So, I mean, literally the only guy that would take that mentality to heart is
Like if
Triple H.
anybody would have to eat shit, is Triple H. But I don't think he would do it that way. Just because he went through it doesn't mean he's gonna let anyone else go through it.
Okay, now I feel like you're putting too much faith into Triple H. This is the wrestling business after all.
If that was the case, then he would have gave a lot of people a lot of shit. FTR,
I mean, we're literally talking of.
Edge.
But what do you mean? I mean, they're not there anymore.
That's my point. It ain't like he made him eat shit.
I mean, you're not. I mean, Edge is already established star.
Daniel Bryan.
I mean, he was
But
on
I'm just talking
any.
about like the eating shit aspect is what I'm trying. I'm just getting at it from the eating shit aspect.
I mean, from the 2013 one of Daniel Bryan, they fed him a lot of shit. I mean, he was getting beat up
Oh, that
every
was
single week.
Vince was giving him that shit. Come on, man.
True.
That was Vince giving him shit. That wasn't Triple H giving him shit.
I
Triple
mean,
H just was the villain in the part of he was the in the villain role giving him that shit.
since Triple H has taken over, it doesn't seem like anybody has given him a reason to feed them shit.
Who that's my I mean if if he was gonna be that petty, Cody coming back would have been eating a lot of shit.
Well, the thing that saved Cody in that regard was that he was already on track. Uh, Vince McMahon already put him on track. So, and the people kept him on that track all the way to WrestleMania. So, and
Well, the people just didn't let him get off the track.
right.
But that's different. But he easily could have gave him shit all the way uh while staying on track. He could have gave him shit.
I mean, he could have, but in the words of Triple H, it wasn't best for business. And I mean, okay, so Triple H, the reason Triple H got in trouble that caused him to eat shit was the Corden call. It was not something. Shawn Michaels was the champion, couldn't touch him. Hall and Nash left.
You could have touched him.
Huh?
You could have touched him. Vince could have touched him. He touched Warrior for crying out loud.
But, Triple H was the one that got punished for the Corden call. But there's nobody currently that has spoken out of line since Triple H has made has been um um the head of WWE. So this is kind of our first look at when somebody is out of line, how they react. You know what I mean?
I I get it. I still am like, I mean, I don't think Triple H is that petty. To me,
Okay. Well,
just saying, I don't think he would be that kind of petty.
well, speaking of not out of line but in line is the country of France. They're getting another PLE in August. Um, I believe it's Bass in Paris or the Brawl in Paris or some shit like that. It's gonna be Paris,
Clash
France.
at the no, it's Clash at something. I got the email. It's Clash of the fuck is it called? Clash uh in Paris. There it is.
Clash in Paris. All right.
Clash in Paris.
Doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue, but okay. Um, yeah. So this has to be because the other French PLE was arguably one of the best crowds they've ever had. Um,
Oh, Backlash.
yeah, Backlash. There you go. So it makes sense, and the response was so good. It makes sense that they would go back. So I'm
Oh yeah,
definitely
they spin in the block. They spin in the block.
I'm definitely gonna mark that one on the calendar because you know that whatever the um, the quality of the show is, the crowd is going to make it A plus.
Yeah, that is definitely gonna be on the good old Google Calendar, if you will. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look out for it because you know that crowd's gonna be legit.
Definitely. And I feel like they should have maybe gone back to Puerto Rico as well, but that's just my opinion. I mean, maybe they're waiting for Bad Bunny to be available again, but I kind of feel like even if Bad Bunny wasn't there, they could have really rocked. They would have rocked another paid preview there.
Nah, Bad Bunny. Yeah, the only reason I think they wouldn't go back because you cannot get no bigger than that. Jesus Christ walked out in Bad Bunny, and that was just it's different than France because France was just hype off rip.
Right.
Puerto Rico, you ain't getting bigger than that. You get, that was the coup de grace for them.
So basically, they're waiting
And
for
I think
Bad
that
Bunny to be available again.
yeah, basically you're basically waiting on Bad Bunny to come on back
Alright.
essentially.
Obviously, Germany didn't make that big of an impression on WWE, and we haven't heard anything about them. But who knows? Maybe we'll see some other countries pop up when it comes to the next couple of PLEs around the world, or what's in the what's coming up.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen because now, I mean, WWE was already starting to globalize it with their PLEs, but I think the merger with UFC helped is giving them the permission to do it on a bigger scale because the UFC is everywhere. They do shows where you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that permission to do so, and it's gonna be very very interesting to see how it all comes to fruition.
Well, the last couple of weeks, they have WWE has been doing a transfer cycle for a transfer window where you can move to Raw, SmackDown, and we have been seeing people on Raw appear on SmackDown and vice versa. I believe it's all said and done now. Bailey is on Raw. I believe Nia Jax is as well. Zelina Vega and Damian Priest are on SmackDown now, and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are on Raw as well. Um, Kind of low key surprised to see Damian Priest on SmackDown right now. Considering he seemed in a major rivalry with Gunter, Judgment Day. I feel like there was maybe um, there was more things for him to do there. Especially being in the world title picture. Um, Damien, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, yet to be seen if they can do something on the opposite brand. But what are your thoughts on the some of these transfers, Kaliko?
Well, Bailey needed the transfer, so that was a given. The Nia one confused me because of the Tiffy time. she had some unfinished business with Stratton, which I would have liked to seen resolved. But I get why they did it because they kind of want Tiffy to stand out on her own. Because after she beat Bailey, Bailey had nowhere to go, which made me realize why didn't they just go back with Nia? Um, so that's telling me they have a person in mind to either A, win the Royal Rumble or win the Elimination Chamber to challenge her. Um,
I agree.
da- um, Damian Priest, had he not beat Finn Balor in the street fight, I could see your point. But once he beat Finn Balor in the street fight, it made no sense for him to stay and fight for Judgment Day. And the reason why he wouldn't go after Gunther is because of the fact that he lost the belt, he got his rematch, whether it was and he lost the rematch. So he's kind of and it makes sense for him to go to SmackDown in the sense that he could kind of be a top tier slash mid card challenger, if you will. And as I'm going to get into when we get to the Rumble, there is a lot of webs being deceived, and it all revolves around Gunther and Cody in more ways than one.
Right.
But to me, the person who at the center of all of this is the person that people probably don't think is at the center of all of this.
Well, what about Selena Vega? It kind of seems like moving to SmackDown will actually do her wonders, considering she was under the thumb of the LWO for so long.
I mean, she Zelina just needs to break a break from it. And the only reason I think they would pull that move is if Alistair's coming back.
Hmm. So you think that they were? I mean, I feel like they're maybe in
They wouldn't.
they're too early in the stages of that, but they would put them on SmackDown.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying them working together. I'm saying them traveling together.
Right. I know what you mean. But that would mean that Alistair, they would put Alistair on SmackDown, right?
Yeah, which would make sense.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, isn't it maybe too soon to pull that trigger? Unless something is already in the works, right?
I think he would be a comeback the night after.
So the Monday after Raw, the Monday after Mania.
Yeah,
Okay, so I mean that's like 2 months away, so that would make sense.
yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think it will do her wonders to actually be a character rather than, a background character for the LWO. I mean, who knows the two guys that are behind Rey Mysterio now? Juan and Nigel? I can't.
I couldn't tell you.
Pepe and Jesus?
Um, who knows?
Yeah.
It,
So
it, it is
one of
the
them is.
guy with the JC Jane, the guy with the JC Jane hat, and the other.
I mean, that's all you need to know.
That's all I could think of. Oh, he's got JC Jane's hat on. Okay.
And with that, we shall conclude the news. Now, a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.